Rock Talk with Tyson Bryden. Welcome to Nonstop Rock Talk. I am your host, Tyson Bryden. On today's show, I'm very happy to welcome bass player for the band, the Electric Boys, Andy Christell. Andy, welcome. How are you doing?
Hi, thanks for having me. Yeah, I'm doing pretty good. I'm in Sweden now, and in my head, I'm still in the same time zone as you are. So, because we just did the Monsters of Rock cruise, and I came back from that, and that was in Miami. So, yeah, right. I'm just.
I was so envious because I saw many of my friends on Facebook posting photos of the event, and I was like, I so wish I was there because it always looks awesome. Was that the first one you guys had done?
No, we did the cruise. Actually, Connie, I think, he did the first one that went from, I think it was in California, and he did a solo thing. Okay. Like acoustic or whatever. And then we took the whole band and did it in 2017. So then this was the second time for me. Right. But it's just, yeah, mind-blowing.
How many shows did you guys play on the ship?
This time around we did 2.
Nice.
Yeah, it was great because we were supposed to do it on different stages, but we did the Studio B, which is like actually a big club sort of. And we got to do both of them, which meant that we could make everything even better the second time around because it was the same venue, with the sound and everything.
That's great. Now it appears as though the band is gearing up to be busy this year. You've got shows tomorrow and Friday in Sweden, I believe.
Friday and Saturday.
Saturday. Okay. And then August you're in the UK going into September. That's almost a month long, isn't it?
Yeah, it's at least 2 weeks, gigs every day almost, and then we're flying straight to do a festival in Hamburg. And then they are, as we are speaking, they're booking more shows in Europe around to follow from that. So that's going to keep on going in September.
That's excellent. That's great. I take it in Europe, the audiences are probably more in tune to rock music than in North America.
Yeah, that's what I keep hearing. But unfortunately, we haven't been able to come back since we reformed to the States or to, North America, as you said, to Canada. And we'd love to, but it gets, of course, much more expensive for us to get like work permits and the traveling, and so it needs to be like a tour that actually gets so we can get to as many people as possible because that's the whole point of it. But, but I keep hearing that apparently rock seems to be not as popular as it used to be, but I'm not sure. But
it isn't. I hate to say it. There's still rock fans like myself that still, hold the flag for rock and roll. But unfortunately, over here, it's more geared towards pop music. And, you've got artists like, I'm sure you're familiar with Drake. Just kind of stuff like that's popular on the radio. And I don't really listen to it, so I can't really say exactly what is popular right now because I listen to what I listen to. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you guys have a new album out, I'm gonna buy it. You know what I mean? It's kind of that's the way it goes for me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Right. Yeah. Okay. I have.
So now when you guys when you go about picking a set list, of course there are fan favorites. I'm sure you couldn't do a show without playing all lips and hips. Other than that, do you mix the old and the new? You guys have done 4 albums since you reformed.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's a great problem sort of to have.
It's a good problem, yeah.
So, yeah, it is. So we try to like you said, there's always songs that we feel that they kind of have to be in there, like Electrified and Lips and Hips, as you said. But then we want to get in the new songs because we're really like proud of the new stuff that we've done. And, for every album, we feel that we sort of really try and get as good songs as possible. We always have. So that's when it becomes a problem, depending on how long we can play. We could probably play for hours. But we try to make as good a mix as possible. And then we keep changing it. So some songs are, like on the cruise, we did 2 different sets, but some songs were on both, like the beginning and the end. But then in the middle, we mixed it up. And we did Rags to Riches. I think it was the second night, but not on the first night.
Yeah.
And then on the first night, we did Bad Motherfunker and Something As Captain on My Soul. And then on the second night, we did Groove is Maximus instead and Tear It Up. So
great song.
We try to put in like some songs from all albums if possible, but
I mean, it's funny now because I mentioned the 4 albums you guys have done. You've done more albums now than you did back in the 80s, right? Because technically there's 4 albums because there's 2 versions of the first album, right? So I guess I'm kind of wrong on that, but close because it is the same album, but it's got different tracks on the Swedish version, right?
Yeah.
The Funko Metal Carpet.
Yeah. Exactly, Funko Metal Carpet. Yeah, that one was because we recorded. We released the first version in Sweden only, and then when we finally got like all the deals worked out with the rest of the world, and especially we had actually 2 different record labels. We had like Atco for North America, and then Polyphonogram or Polydor or whatever they were called. For the rest of the world, wasn't it? Yeah. So that's what the rest of the.
That's what my copy is the phonogram. It's from Europe.
Yeah, and then but it took almost. I think it did take a year to get that worked out. So, because we came up with the idea actually to put some new songs on when it was time, when it was going to release worldwide. So then we got in touch with Bob Rock, and. I can't remember who came up with that idea, but first we said, we want to meet him.
Yeah, no kidding.
So exactly, yeah. So that's when we recorded 5. We switched out, so we recorded 5 new songs with him.
I actually bought this. Can you see that? I don't know if that's. There we go. I actually bought that last year. I went on Discogs because I didn't realize there was 2 versions until. I was reading something and I was like, oh, there's a first version of that. I have to find that because I was curious to hear what the other songs were like that aren't on the American press or the other version, I guess you would call it, because it's not strictly America.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so, and in hindsight, maybe we should have just released the first version and then instead make a whole new album with Bob. But that's just what we felt like for the time being. So. I like both versions. I
like them both.
I think it's like 15 songs altogether. So they're all.
In Europe, would you do any of the material off the original version live? Do you guys do any of that material that isn't on the second one?
I think the first UK tour we did a few of them.
That's cool.
Because we only had that album then, so we had to, add more songs. But then, when we started touring North America, and then from there on, I think we mainly have used the 5 songs. The later version of that album. So I'm not unsure. We might have played. We did a anniversary gig actually, when a 25th anniversary for the first version here in Stockholm, and then we did play that whole album actually.
Cool. That's pretty awesome. That's cool. Now last year the band released a sensational Upside Down album, which not only was the material great, but so was the whole packaging. I love that whole. When I got it and I opened it up and it had the bubble wrap on the actual picture and everything, it looked really cool. But you've just released a new single that was taken from those sessions but left off the album, entitled Favorite Hello, Worst Goodbye. Great song. I listened to it yesterday probably 5-6 times. I think it's an awesome song. Tell me why that song was left off the album.
Yeah, interesting question. Actually, because it comes down to us. Some songs, when you mix them, you feel instantly that these sort of have to be on the album.
Yeah.
But then it comes up to what's the best, like, the host to get the total sort of experience of it as a whole, because we're so old that we're still thinking in albums, album terms, sort of like we have a beginning and then you have the, you switch sides.
Yep.
And then you have
Which
the
I
second
love.
side and and then you have the end of the album. So we just tried to get the songs on the album that we felt contributed the most to the overall sort of feeling of it. But then, so that song that we released now, and there's another one coming, we feel are great, but for some reason they didn't really fit together with the other ones. That's, but then we figured people need to hear it anyway.
Yeah, I think that's great. Now, will they end up on a release, like a full album release later on, or I guess it all depends if they fit, maybe?
Yeah, we haven't really decided right now. I'm not 100% sure if it's going to be like a deluxe version kind of thing of it or whatever, but yeah, we started with releasing it anyway, and there's another one coming further on as well.
Yeah, it said that in the bio. I'm looking forward to hearing that.
Yeah.
Now, let's discuss Electric Boys Upside Down, a concert film. Tell me what that's all about.
Yeah, that's when the whole pandemic situation started, we luckily, sort of, for us, we had already decided to make an album. So we did make the album, but then, of course, we couldn't go out on tours. We were thinking, so what can we do? And then we knew about of course, bands started doing streaming things. And we figured, well, why don't we try and make a little bit more than that? So we recorded a whole concert in a theater, of course, without an audience.
Right. Yeah.
And then and it's totally live from top, from beginning to end. But then we filmed a little stuff around it to make it more like with little interviews and fun when we were like goofing around, because we always loved that kind of vibe from like seeing like the old Beatles movies or whatever, when it's a mixture sort of, so that people maybe get a vibe of how it could be like hanging out with these four.
Yeah. Was it weird did it feel like just a rehearsal when there's nobody there? Was it hard I'm sure the energy's always there when the band is playing. Was it kind of weird knowing that it was a concert video, but there's no audience?
It's of course different, because there's a lot of stuff that we do that feeds off the audience. Yeah. So of course we have to sort of remove those parts. Yeah. Not only sing-alongs, but also like we're very like sensitive to like jamming and stuff. So sometimes we just start doing things that we've never done before, or maybe have, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, or we even switch a song out or whatever because we feel what kind of vibe it is at that gig.
Yeah.
But now we just have to like trust ourselves. No, but just do it as we've decided to do it, sort of. Right. So that's fun in another way. Then you can sort of, it becomes more introverted, of course, because we're mainly focusing on the playing only. Yeah.
Yeah, there'd be no banter, right? Of, speaking to the audience and getting the audience into it. It'd just be the band's playing, feeling the energy of the band playing, but there's no interaction with the audience. So.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So, but it was good we felt really like blessed sort of that we got the opportunity to do it, because we could keep on working, So we, as a band sort of, and play together. And then we did Sweden Rock Festival. They had a streaming thing with two other bands, Van der Mother and Bombus. So we went and did that. That was a streaming thing.
Cool.
And then we did a radio live thing here in Stockholm as well. So we did manage to keep like doing stuff, something at least,
Yeah, staying busy.
Yeah, basically. Yeah, I mean, we just tried it. I mean, we're still open for everything. I mean, if it's the fun thing we can do, and because just want to keep on playing.
Yeah, and I mean, there had to be a little bit of a disappointment knowing that you've got this new album coming out and you can't really go out and support it. And it's such a phenomenal album that you want to be out and you want to be playing those songs, right?
Yeah. So now we're lucky enough to be able to do like 14 gigs. It started like the first ones was right at the end of August, and then we did all of September here in Sweden at least. So there was a gap when they opened up, and then they closed it down again. So we managed to squeeze in 14 gigs at least, so we were able to play in front of people again, and that was just amazing because it's something that you in a way always took for granted. Not that people were gonna show up, but but that you could still always do it, and then you couldn't, and then you realize how important it is for yours, that connection and also the audience, when they could finally see a gig again. So it felt interesting walking on stage the first night. Was like, am I going to get arrested now?
Yeah, no kidding.
It's okay to do,
Yeah. Did you find the audience at first was more excited? Because we've lost live music for so long, or was it kind of came back naturally? It was, like it had always been.
Yeah, actually both. The first gig I remember, you could see that people were a bit like we were. They behaved a bit like, can I stand here and and is this okay next to other people, and
Yeah, right.
But then but you could tell that they were extremely happy about it, and they showed it, and they kept telling us that this is just mind blowing to be able to see you guys again play live, and so yeah, so we're just happy that we've been able to do that, and then we're gonna go out and do other stuff further on. So
that's great. Now, when I spoke to Connie last year, he alluded to the fact that there is an Electric Boys beer in the works called Electric Brew.
Yes.
What is the status on that?
It's out. It's out. Released here in Sweden.
It is, eh?
Yeah, and it's I can actually brag about it because I didn't make it myself, but we were heavily, really involved in making it. We were sitting and having and testing different kinds of beer together with the brewmaster of the brewery, and we did a lot of discussions about what kind of beer and how it was going to taste and how strong it will be, and we, of course, felt it needed to be 6.66.
Wow. That's good.
So it is.
That's more than I usually. I'm usually like a 5% guy, so I wouldn't have too many of those. I might fall down.
Yeah, that's the funny thing, because when we've been having it at the gigs we did, I told you about, like in September.
Yeah.
And you can see that people, because it doesn't feel that strong. Like, right. So you drink, so they drink it, people, and then you can tell that they're a bit more enthusiastic. They probably would have been. So, but it does taste really good. It has a really nice, rich flavor, which isn't like it's not like an IPA or anything like that. It's actually a German Bock. It's called. It's like a lager, but more taste. It has more taste, and it's not like bitter or too sweet. It turned out actually really good. To me, it's like one of the best beers I've ever had, and we feel so in the whole band. So
really, that
was just a great thing to be able to do. To something that I never imagined that I would ever be involved in creating a new beer. But
yeah. Now, is it available in a bottle and a can, or is it? How does it come?
It's only it's bottles, and they have it on tap in certain bars.
Cool.
But unfortunately, so far it's only Sweden. I'm unsure if you could order it and have it sent to anywhere else in the world. But
that's why I was alluding to, because I was thinking like our alcohol here for beer and wine, like we have a beer store, and then we have an LCBO, which is liquor, and in Ontario. So. But you can go and ask them if they can order things for you. So I may go to the LCBO and see if they can order it for me. I'm curious to try it.
Yeah, please do. I mean, it's. I have no idea how far away from in the world they send it. So, but it's well worth a try.
Yeah, I'd like to try it. Now, Andy, the band originally broke up in 1995, I believe it was. Connie went on to pursue a solo career. In that timeline before joining the resurrected Hanoi Rocks in 2005, were you still in contact with Connie? Were you still pursuing music?
Yeah, I mean, we got to know each other in school when we were like 14 years old. So we were like,
wow,
we've known each other for forever, almost. So he's like an extra brother.
Yeah.
By now, and we've always kept in touch on purpose. We tried to, music-wise, not play together, so it wouldn't be like when he made his solo thing or, and I did something, it would be like, oh, Electric Boys. So, but I did actually play on one song on his solo album, and then he was going to make a live album from his solo. And then the bass player who did that couldn't make those shows, so he called me. So actually I am playing on that. And that was released in, I'm not sure, end of 90s anyway.
It's probably
and I played mainly with like smaller bands in Sweden. I did a couple of tours together with a band called Space Age Baby Jane, but I don't think that album ever came out anywhere else except in Sweden. So and then I actually, the first thing I forgot was that in 95 or 96 I did, after the Electric Boys broke up, since I was known Andy McCoy and the guys from Hanoi Rocks since early 80s, I did a tour with Andy in Finland.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah. So then later on, I guess that's one of the reasons why me and Connie, it's the same for Connie. Me and Connie used to have a band before the Electric Boys, and we had the original drummer in Hanoi Rocks in that band when he
Gip Casino, right?
Gip Casino, yeah. The guy who was playing before Razzo.
Yeah.
So that's when we got to know the rest of the guys, and that's sort of how we ended up in Hanoi in end of 2004.
Right on. I mean, I'm a big Hanoi Rocks fan, so I've got multiple vinyls I've got the Uzi Suicide ones that I just picked up in the last year, the Geffen ones on colored vinyl. Those look great. I love those. And then the Deadline box set I bought as well, and I've got CDs, and I've been a fan forever, so I'm a big Hanoi Rocks fan.
Yeah.
And unfortunately over here, it was never, I guess they're kind of a cult. They have cult status over in North America. I love Michael Monroe, of course. I love his solo stuff too, so I've always followed the band. So what was it like actually playing those songs live? I think it might be surreal at first, like, because of that. I mean, that stuff is so, I guess to me it's iconic, right?
Yeah, I mean, it was great, of course, because like I mentioned before, I mean, we've known the guys since when we got to know them 82 or 83 or something. So in a way, it was just like hanging with our friends,
That's
but
cool.
I never played. I played when I did the Andy McCoy solo thing. We did a couple of the Hanoi Rocks songs, but no, it just felt great. You're in the middle of it and doing it. So it's great songs, and we did have a good time, really. I mean, so.
Yeah, I think
really great.
They always came across really great live. When you hear that live album, All Those Wasted Years, I remember the first time I put it on when I first got it and thought, man, the energy on this. It's almost like album didn't capture that as much of their live as it should have, especially on maybe the first two albums.
Yeah, the first time I saw them live was even before that album. Right. I think they'd done maybe their second by then. And it was just getting punched in the face. Yeah. Honestly, it was just like, what the happened? It's just, they were all over the place, and the energy was just like really almost a lot of like punk energy, to be honest.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I always thought it was interesting because they had that glam image, but they didn't sound like a per se a hair band. They sounded more like a punky Rolling Stones kind of, just, you know, it was just its own vibe. Hanoi Rocks sounds like Hanoi Rocks. You can't really classify what it is.
No, I totally agree. Yeah.
Now, I'm curious about the end of Hanoi Rocks. Had it just kind of run its course?
Yeah, I guess it was Andy and Mike felt that they couldn't sort of take it any further. So we just, they I guess, took the decision, and we talked about it, all of us, and we were all okay with it. It just felt that, yeah, okay, let's do, like we did a farewell tour in UK and a couple of gigs in Sweden, and then we did a Japanese tour, and then we ended up with doing, let's see, I think it was like 8 gigs in 6 days in a row in Helsinki.
Wow, that's great.
It's a place called Tavastia, which is like a classic rock club.
Cool.
And they started playing that venue, so they figured they should end it there. And Nasty Suicide came on for 2 songs. So so it was great. Yeah, I still don't know how Mike managed to do that, because, like I said, it was 8 gigs in 6 days. So that meant that the 2 last days we did 2 gigs, one for like with no age limit.
Yeah.
And then we got back to the hotel for a couple of hours, and then back and did the evening gig.
Wow.
And the last gig we played for like 2.5 hours. I think it was just like we crammed in all the songs we could possibly put in there. Wow. And he was still jumping around as energetic as ever, and still managed to sing great. So I was just like, how does he do it? I don't know.
That's crazy. That's crazy. Now, I mean, and then it was at that point that you and Connie resurrected the Electric Boys. Did you two feel it was just time to do that?
Yeah, we sat down on the way back home to Sweden, and then we sort of just started talking about it. So what are you going to do now? That was the question. And for some reason, I was surprised to say, because I never really thought about resurrecting Electric Boys. And then all of a sudden, both of us were like, wouldn't it be fun to play that kind of music again? And we were both like, yeah, but then that means that we have to have the other 2 guys, you know?
Yeah.
And we hadn't really been, I mean, we met them and stuff, and it's never been any like that we hate each other or anything. And the vibe has always been great, but we hadn't been playing or anything like that together during the, whatever it was, 15 years. But then we met them and we talked about it, and then we just got back together. I guess it just happened. So we did we did talk about it with the other guys about reforming Electric Boys, and then we did the last thing I told you about with Hanoi in Helsinki, and then we went back to Sweden and started rehearsing, and then went out to play with Electric Boys.
Wow.
So just...
I mean, what I love about the band is that you've kind of remained true to the early lineups, because I mean, you had Franco, who played in the band from 88 to 93, and then from 09 to 2020, and then he's been replaced twice by Martin Thomander. Hopefully I said that right. As the current guitarist.
Yeah, we felt that when Franco decided, he had sort of, he just talked. Same thing again. We're not like hate each other or anything like that. We just talked about what we wanted to keep on doing, and we didn't really have the same idea where to take the band and stuff. And he had just found another band to play with as well. So we figured. So he decided to leave, and then we both, me and Connie and Jolle and Niklas, were like, okay, so let's get Martin in, because he had already done actually one tour in the UK in 2006, I think it was.
Right. That's cool.
Because he's always sort of been part of this family, you know, always. So it's just like, that wasn't even a question. He didn't have a choice. We just told him, you're back.
Really? That's awesome. Well, that's good. I mean, it's good that you guys have all remained, you know, in contact and remained friends, and there was no conflict. So So why not, right? And it's good that everybody's in a point in their life where, okay, we can do this again. This is great. So that's good.
Yeah.
Now, drummer Nicholas Sigavalli, is it Sigavalli? Is that how you? Anyways, he is currently not playing with the band, I understand.
No, because it's again the pandemic. He lives in Los Angeles, so he couldn't even leave the country.
Yeah.
So we had still decided to do the new album, and we talked to him, and he said, "Go ahead and keep on working. You can't let this stop you guys." I mean, he was just like, "No, do it. You should do it." And because the thing that happened was that when we reformed Electric Boys, almost straight from the beginning, we knew that since Niklas was living in LA, there was going to be gigs that he couldn't come over for various reasons. He has a family and stuff, and he can't just keep flying back and forth from LA if there's like one show. So we immediately talked to, and that was Niklas, he was totally fine with that as well. We talked to Jolle, who was actually part of the last lineup of Hanoi Rock. So he did the last couple of tours with Hanoi. Yeah. And he's a Swedish guy as well. So we talked to him and asked him if he wanted to join when Niklas couldn't be able to play. So he's been sort of part of this all the time as well. And then he has been more and more part of it. And he played on the Ghost War Diarist, the previous album.
Right.
It was Niklas mainly, but Jolly played a few of the tracks. And then when this came along, Niklas said, "We'll have Jolly do it. I'm totally fine with it." So we did that album, and then the pandemic is still going. He could start. I mean, now he can come over here, but it is a lot of hassle. And since we haven't really had proper tours that makes sense, it doesn't really make sense for him to come over. So I totally understand him,
Yeah, it's been a strange 2 years. Absolutely. It's just been, it's been up and down, right?
Yeah, really. It's been, it's strange. Just the least you could say about it. It's everything is totally different than, of course, for everybody. So.
Yeah, and every time you think there's something around the corner that it's going to get better, then all of a sudden there's a drop or a dive, and you're like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's like a huge roller coaster.
Yeah, it totally is. That you never get off of. Hopefully we're getting off the roller coaster soon. So.
Yeah. I'm a positive kind of guy, so I'm sure it will end. And if something else, I don't think some people said it's going to go back to normal. I'm not. I mean, it's going to be a new normal. I'm sure of.
I agree with that.
And that's not necessarily a bad thing,
No, I think people may be a little bit more cautious of, being closer to people, and maybe there won't be as many colds going around and stuff like that, because people are still doing the things that they were doing during the pandemic, like, hand sanitizing and just to keep viruses out,
Yeah, and also to sort of value the time you have in life and be more in the now and stuff like that, which I always thought was really important, but now it's become really, really in your face that it is really important then to value what you have and friends and love and everything. So
I agree. Well, Andy, I want to thank you for joining me today, and it looks like there's a lot on the horizon for the Electric Boys this year. Quite a bit of stuff, so that's amazing. I look forward to the next song. So I know they're not saying the title yet, so we'll wait for that, and we won't say it, and I guess it'll be kind of a surprise, which is good. But I'm looking forward to letting people hear it as well, see what they think. Yeah, it's kind of a weird thing now where just singles are that happens a lot now, where you're just hearing singles, right? But I think it's good. It gives it a little bit more. People have time to really listen to just the song and not a whole album. I mean, it has its good and its bad points, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. Okay, well, I wish you the best of luck, and thank you so much again. And
thanks for having me. It's been great.
Yeah,
I really.
Yeah, and it's great that you're in Sweden and I'm in Canada, and we can interact. So that's one thing I love about technology. So
yeah, same. I think that it's just mind blowing what you can do these days, and you could almost take that for granted that you should just sit and talk like across the globe, and with no like the time delays that used to be when you call back home from being like saying something, the other guy was answering, and then you were like all the time.
Exactly. It's amazing. I mean, you're across an ocean, and I'm assuming it's probably cold there too, because it's cold here.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. So I assume you enjoyed the sunshine last week, then.
Yes, you can say that. It was really nice to actually have at least a week away. So and be in the sun and the warmth. So
yeah, as I said, I'm going to Cuba in a couple of weeks, so I'm going to be enjoying that as well. That sunshine. So get a little bit of break from the winter until the summer hits here. So
yeah,
it's awesome. Okay, man. Well, thank you so much again, and hopefully we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, same here.
Okay.
Take care.
Okay, take care, Andy. Thank you.
Great.
Bye-bye.
Thanks.